There's a reason I've been completely obsessed with Mute lately, but it might not be exactly what you think. This pump shotgun might seem like an unstoppable weapon in these clips, but the truth is, it's not the shotgun. It's actually the preparation that took place earlier in the round, which led to the result of this guy having the barrel of a shotgun down his throat. This tactic is what I like to call information denial, and it's a major contributor to my massive increase in win rate this season. But it's not just information denial, it's also information manipulation and capitalization. Today we're covering these concepts so that you can start taking advantage of your misinformation to get way more kills, win way more rounds, and have an insanely good time in the process.
Oh, 3 more kids getting pumped!
The best part about this is that it's super strong whether you play with a team or you play solo. A large majority of players avoid this simple concept, making for the ideal weak spot in their gameplay that you can exploit to perfection. Similar to the way your dad exploited me to perfection last night. The first part of information denial starts in the prep phase. The very beginning of the round lays the foundation for the rest of it, and if you're serious about winning, it's worth turning this one into a habit. It's pretty much guaranteed that your teammates are going to have specific site setups they want and think that their strategy is the best in the world, so just let them do their thing. They can set the site up however they want, even if it's horrible, because you're not reinforcing a damn thing from now on. I know this sounds like insanity, but bear with me. Instead of spending your short prep phase reinforcing walls and making rotates, you're going to use that time to shoot drones. Getting rid of that information off the bat lowers their drone count and the total amount of information that the attackers gain.
I got 1 drone.
Maybe Chad can help.
Me too! This could lead to them not seeing your setup, your operator lineup, or your positioning off the start of the round. Essentially, the more drones you get, the more likely it is that the enemy team is going in blind and taking bigger risk, which is the first step to utilizing this tactic. If you get a couple drones and you have the extra time, sure, go reinforce that hatch for your team. You're still allowed to reinforce, it should just be a secondary priority to getting rid of those drones. Now that you've shot a few drones in the prep phase, you're in the clear to play in those areas off the start of the round with the safety of knowing that they don't have information on you because you already shot the drones there. What this means is you can play like a rat, hide in corners, and stand your ground until you're droned out once again. The trick to this is to hide and hold areas that you're not exposed to multiple angles. Sitting in the middle of a hallway or a room where you won't be able to hear them come from behind could be detrimental for you. From there, if you get droned out, just simply shoot the drone and fall back to a new spot. I wouldn't recommend going to the other side of the map because then you're running through a whole lot of unknown territory. It just has to be slightly different, like literally around the corner from where you just were. Their information is continuously becoming unreliable, while you keep forcing them to waste more drones, more utility, and more time. And again, because you shot those drones in prep phase, it's all stacking up on itself. At some point, they're gonna stop droning, and they might not even drone you out the first time. This is when you gain a major advantage. As they stroll throughout the map, having to check every angle and corner, you can hear them as they approach you. As long as you've been sitting still, they don't know where you are, while you know where they are because of the audio of them moving throughout the nearby rooms. When the time is right, you can pop out of cover and pre-fire them for an easy kill. After that, you need to change your position again because you'll more than likely be called out or they'll just hear you shooting. This strategy is super great on its own, and the best part is you can do it with practically any operator. But if you want to double down on the misinformation game like I doubled down on your dad last night, then it's finally time to play some Mute. It's only at this moment where the shotgun becomes an unstoppable force. Lurking around doorways and close angles with a pump shotgun means you can shoot them anywhere in the body for a one-shot kill, while those attackers with their ARs are praying that they get a headshot on you with their first bullet. That's if they can even get a shot off before they're dead. When you hear them getting close to you, you can swing them just before the point of contact to give you an even greater advantage. This will put the peeker's advantage in your favor, and I personally find that swinging into the fight makes it easier to land the shot. This also helps because if you miss or you don't kill them with the first shot, you can tuck behind cover during the pump animation so that you're not fully exposed. This is definitely a skill that's worth practicing, and it's ridiculously strong. Kind of like your dad, just so strong and dominant. That's great and all, but we've only scraped the surface of this tactic so far. That's just Mute's loadout. He also has this incredible drone denying gadget that we haven't talked about yet, along with one other super powerful trick that you can combine with this to find the ideal positions at the start of the round. First, let's go over his gadget. A lot of people use Mute jammers for walls. This is okay on maybe 1 or 2 walls, but ideally you don't have to do any of them. There's a ton of different ways the attackers can get around this, and it's usually pointless. If your team wants wall denial, they can bring a Kate or a bandit. If I wanted to deny your dad, well, it would be near impossible. So if you're not denying walls, what are you doing with those Mute jammers? Well, here's the thing, pal. you're taking them on the roam. Now you don't even have to shoot drones and reposition. You can just plop down your jammers on different drone routes around where you're gonna play, and now it's gonna be super hard to drone you out. If they wanna get rid of the jammer to continue droning, they have to get up close to the doorway to shoot it, which again is the perfect opportunity to pump them in the chest for a free kill. If they end up getting the mute and want to press on, well, you'll be there to shoot the drone, find a new spot, and more than likely what happens? You got it. You'll pump them in the chest. On top of that, if you're standing on one, the mute jammer will protect you from vulnerabilities like Dokkaebi calls and lion scans. Blitz's shield will also get disabled if he comes into the radius, making for an even stronger safety net. Not only is this strategy fantastic just because you get so many kills, but it's also fantastic because it implants fear into your opponent's head. If you pump some kids who are running around the map with no drones off the very first round, they're gonna be absolutely terrified to do it again. Every doorway they come close to, there could be the ever-lurking shotgun.
One's going VIP side.
Oh,
VIP,
shit, you can see
VIP
it.
hallway. I think it's Yana going VIP.
Oh my god.
Nice.
HC, one HP, one HP. Hiding out this window.
Better.
Yeah!
360.
The shotgun doesn't stop there though. It can also be used to make vertical holes above different areas the attackers are trying to push through, or to open hatches to retreat on your roam. Okay, so the big quiz of the day is this. Is this roam unstoppable? Think about it. How do you beat it? Who counters it? What counters it? EMPs and droning and efficiency and the attackers clearing every single little thing? Don't fool yourself. That doesn't happen in ranked. So is it truly unstoppable? No! Nothing is unstoppable. Not even your dad's hot beefy body is 100% unresistible. It is super strong and it's difficult to deal with, but it's definitely not unstoppable. That sentence is in reference to both the strategy and your dad. The number one way to counter this is teamwork, which is why the strategy itself is so good. Today's ranked players aren't built like they used to be. Teamwork is a foreign concept at this point, and when the most basic forms of teamwork come out, I get genuinely impressed, which is sad. Having the attacking team push you out from multiple areas and work together to clear you out of the area you're playing can be very punishing for you. The other way to stop it is to just completely avoid contesting it. Instead of pushing in the side that the mute is holding, you just go the complete opposite way. Hold your flank and work for the bomb site. Direct site pushes are great because mute's thick one-speed ass is going to take some time to get back to help his team. The other advantage the attackers can gain is the lack of info that mute has, which is why I have one more tactic to add to the inventory to fully evolve this strategy into a into its maximum killing potential. The info. How do we get info as mute? There's two things here. The first is barricades. Barricading off your backside when necessary lets you know when the attackers are sneaking up behind you. That barricade is priceless information that could save your life. Second and more powerful info comes from the default cameras. But I'm not talking about those inside bozo cams, I'm talking about the outside cameras that will show you where the attackers spawn in. Hopping on those cams right as the prep phase ends allows you to see where they spawn, which cameras are shot, where they got shot from, and maybe even what operators are bringing, giving you a plethora of information. You can use this to make assumptions of where they're about to push from. With this info, you can reposition yourself to optimize your pump and dump chances on the enemy team. This, my friend, is information capitalization in action. Capitalizing on the information you gain just from a simple default camera. And this just skyrockets your chances of actually encountering the enemies before they break out onto the site, meaning not only will you get more kills and waste more utility, but you'll be impacting the round and helping your team before it's too late. I know you've been in those circumstances where your entire enemy team dies on site before you can do anything, and this should help reduce that frequency quite a bit. Now, sometimes you won't encounter anyone, which is fine. It just means you'll have to give it up and head back to site once you notice that your teammates start struggling. You can also run this strat with other counter info ops like Vigil, Mozzie, and Solus, but I find that having that pump is just so effective and adds that extra layer to it. In general, you should definitely start drone hunting in your prep phase, expanding your defense out past the bomb site to cover more ground as a defender, give the attackers less control for free, waste more time, and as a result, win way more. Now go straight to Twitter, post a picture of your dad, and tag me in it. I'll see you there.